so I am Gina. I am one of the admissions advisors here at George Mason University. We're here to talk about the online of Masters of Public Health. So let's talk about a couple different things for tonight. So on the agenda, we're going to meet our presenters. We're going to talk about a couple different things of why you should be choosing Mason, such as learning outcomes, curriculum details, career outlooks, and then we're going to also be talking about admission requirements, and then also some question and answers at the end. Okay, so if you guys have any questions or concerns during this time, you can do chat instructions, you can raise your hand if you have a question, or you can simply type in your question in the Q&A. Okay, so our presenters tonight, we have Dr. Mary Beth Mitchum, and then we have our Assistant Director of Academic Program, Kelly Beckwith. And then if Kelly or Mary Beth want to take away.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Gina. So I'm Dr. M.B. Mitchum, and I am an assistant professor at the First College of Public Health in the state of Virginia, George Mason University, in the Department of Community and Global Health, or Global and Community Health. And I'm really happy that you've decided to join us tonight and learn a little bit more about this new program. So although Mason's Master of Public Health program has been in existence for some time, and Kelly can speak more about that at the end if you have questions about the general MPH program, our online only program is new. As of this fall, we're very excited about it. So we'll be talking a little bit tonight about the specifics of the program, what makes it unique, and then there will be time, as Gina mentioned, for questions and answers if you have any program specific questions or want to learn more about Mason's program in general. So again, we are the first College of Public Health in the state of Virginia. That's a very exciting thing. And why does that matter? Well, it matters for a few reasons. First of all, our status as the first College of Public Health in the state of Virginia means that we have a unique opportunity to leverage our interdisciplinary opportunities for learning. So in the online program, a Masters of Public Health program at Mason, we have one course in particular, GCH 500, that you'll see in a few minutes, that actually is taken by every single graduate student in the college. So students will have the opportunity to learn alongside students from other disciplines like nursing and social work and nutrition, not only more about the field of public health, but also how different disciplines and how different departments address public health programs. So that interdisciplinary work that happens as a result of us being a College of Public Health really gives us a unique opportunity to look at problems within that context of working with other departments and other disciplines. We have a fabulous mentor program headed by the amazing Kelly Beckwith that allows people who have already graduated from Mason's MPH programs to share their experiences on what they learned from the program, what they valued, some things that now that they're in the public health field, they wish they could tell themselves when they were working through their coursework, things like that. So there are those opportunities to learn from somebody who's gone through the MPH program at Mason, but then also maybe get some vantage points into what types of jobs are available, or what are some tips and tricks from leveraging your graduate degree into becoming a working professional. We are CEF accredited, so Council on Education for Public Health Accreditation, meaning that the courses that we are offering are reviewed by that accrediting board. The program is a part of that accrediting board, so our department is accredited, the program is accredited, and then of course we are now also an accredited College of Public Health. And then for the online MPH degree, like our other MPH programs at Mason, there's a practicum component where you'll be expected to complete 200 hours of field work, which is fabulous because then you get to implement all of the learning that you've taken from your classes and then put it into actual practice in the field, and not only learn how those skills directly translate into your field work, but then also get some experience that you can put on your resume or your CV, and then hopefully also get some experience working in the field so that you can have those connections that will hopefully result in future jobs. And then also with those practicum hours is the opportunity, like I just mentioned, for internships. We also have opportunities in the department for GPAs, graduate professional assistants, or GRAs, graduate research assistants. So our students are uniquely positioned to be able to not only complete a fantastic degree at a fantastic institution, but also have those opportunities to actively work alongside faculty members. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here you can see an overview of the courses, and if you've asked for any information about this program, you've probably seen this spreadsheet. So as part of an accredited program, all of the courses in each of our concentrations have a combination of those core courses and then concentration-specific courses. So the core courses for our MPH programs, all of the MPH programs at Mason in our Department of Global and Community Health have GCH 500 Foundations of Public Health, which is that course to which I referred earlier that all of our college students in the college have to take, or all of our graduate students in the college have to take. So whether you're a nursing student, whether you're a nutrition student, if you're a student in the College of Public Health, you will have to take GCH 500. There's also GCH 604, Fundamentals of Epidemiology and Biostatistics, GCH 609, Community Assessment and Partnerships, GCH 611, Health Program Planning and Evaluations, GCH 645, U.S. and Global Public Health Systems, HAP 635, Role of Government in Healthcare and Public Health, and HAP 680, Applied Public Health Leadership and Management. So again, all of our MPH students take those core courses. What makes our concentrations a little bit different are the courses that are offered for the concentration. So if you look on the right-hand side, bottom section, concentration-specific courses are GCH 535, Public Health Preparedness and Response, GCH 607, Evidence-Based Public Health Practice, GCH 655, Public Health Equity and Justice, GCH 691, Project Management and Public Health, and GCH 720, Public Health Problems in a Changing Society. So in addition to those, you also have the opportunity to choose from two electives. The electives are either Environmental Health, GCH 560, or a new course that is being offered with the launch of this program, GCH 551, which is Rural Health. So looking at public health problems specifically within the context of rural environs. And then, of course, there's the practicum component, the practicum seminar, GCH 780, and then GCH 790, which will be your actual practicum. Next slide, please. All right, so why on earth should you potentially consider a public health graduate degree? Well, as we all know, over the last several years, there was something called a pandemic. And the pandemic, although had many adverse outcomes, one benefit of it was that it really launched public health into the forefront of people's minds. People who had no clue that public health existed 5 years ago now know that it exists. As a result of the pandemic and just other things as well, because as we know, public health is very diverse and has a lot of different ways to be able to make a practical impact on improving health of people. There's a projection for public health jobs to become increasingly available. There's going to be a continued need for that. So an MPH degree will allow you, once you're completed with that degree, to be very well placed for employment in a field that is going to be continuing to grow. Mason's MPH programs, as I had mentioned before, solid, they're very well established, and our graduates have been able to be placed in working environments such as at the CDC, Booz Allen Hamilton, the FDA, and in a variety of different health offices in state and territorial regions. So it's not just that we're helping you get that degree, but we know from our graduate experience and from hearing from our alums that that degree from Mason uniquely puts you in a position to be able to be working in some very fantastic organizations as well. All right, next slide, please. All right, so admissions process, and I will turn this back to Gina and right now if she would like to please cover the admissions process.
That's no problem. So during the admissions process, these are going to be the items that you need to fill out your application. So you're going to have a bachelor's degree with from a regionally accredited institution, with at least a 3.0 GPA. And then you're going to have your official transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation, and a statement of purpose and then your updated resume. So these are all items that you are going to need, like I said, for your application. Depending on your region where you are, if you got your degree from out of the country, there might be some other items that are needed, but these are going to be the direct items that are needed specifically for this program.
Thank you very much, Gina. So before we open it up for questions, I just wanted to give one little tiny explanation as to the other reason why I find this program so valuable. I live in the boonies. I currently live in the middle of nowhere. However, because I live in the middle of nowhere, that means that it's difficult for me when I was completing my degrees to be able to access excellent education like at George Mason University. As such, online education became the tool that enabled me to complete my coursework. And then because the online MPH program is so fabulous, you can still complete your practicum in person near where you live. I love the flexibility of this program for those very reasons, because I've gone through it as a student and now I'm able to be part of it as a faculty member and the director of this program. I know that this is a fantastic opportunity for military families that move around a lot, for families that may be like me, living very far away from George Mason University at the time of me completing my MPH, families that have weird working schedules, or if you have other tasks that require you to not have the most flexibility in your schedule. All of the courses in this program are completely asynchronous, meaning you can complete your coursework in your own time within, of course, the week course requirements, but there aren't any required, like from 1 to 3 p.m. you have lecture components. The coursework will be laid out and there will be very interactive direction with each faculty member during the course, but you'll be able to complete the work without that additional pressure of having to show up in person at a specific time. So if you have any questions, we'd love to be able to answer them. I can give you specific answers on the program. If you have questions specifically about the MPH program in general at Mason, Kelly can answer those. And if you have any admissions questions, Gina can answer those. But thank you again for coming.
So we do have some questions right now. One specific question we have is there assistance when locating a practicum?
Kelly, is this something that you would like to answer, or would you like me to answer this one?
No, I'd be happy to answer it. Hi, everyone. Welcome. The GCH 780 course that MB mentioned is Practicum Seminar. It is a 0 credit class, meaning you don't have to pay tuition for it, which is fabulous. GCH 780 is called Practicum Seminar, and students take it the semester before they go out and do their practicum. All students must meet with the practicum coordinator and talk about what they are interested in and what they want out of a practicum. Now, this will be new for us, having an online degree program where people could be anywhere in the world. But, you know, she might recommend organizations or people to talk to. We have had students do practicums in remote places or virtual practicums. So we've had students do practicum at organizations in Chicago, even though they were physically located in Virginia. So, you know, the practicum coordinator knows a lot of people in a lot of places, and so we'll definitely work with all students to figure out what might be a good placement for them. Ultimately, for any student, it is their responsibility for securing that placement. So it's not a matching program. It is, maybe you want to talk to this person and figure out if this was a good match for you. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. Right now, I don't see any other questions coming up. Does anybody have any specific questions? Okay, can we talk more about the assistantship program,
So assistantship as in let me try to kind of frame this. So there are ways that students can apply for tuition support through any programs that you would normally do so, like for financial assistance. There are also opportunities, and this kind of answers that question and the one that just came up in the chat, the professional researchers within the university while studying. So yes, those benefits would apply to online students, and that would also be an opportunity for students who are completing their coursework to also function as a graduate research assistant or graduate professional assistant, as long as there were those positions available for online students. So some faculty members do require in-person work. There are other faculties, like for example, I am currently in the middle of interviewing graduate professional assistants to help me this summer, and that job is going to be entirely remote. So those opportunities, if remote, will be available to online students just as they would be to our in-person students. And for the excellent question. If you live down the road from GMU, absolutely. You would be able to, if you're within commuting distance of the university, then you would be able to be participating in those in-person opportunities. But for those of you who are not just down the road from GMU, then yes, you would be able to be participating in any other opportunity that any other student would be, as long as it met that requirement. Typical workload in a week, is it realistic to complete while working full-time? Well, I would say yes, from my own example of having done that very thing. And granted, I didn't complete my coursework from Mason because the program didn't exist at that time. But yeah, so a full-time course load can be, so you can either take part-time or full-time. Part-time coursework you can take at 2 courses per semester. You can take 3 courses per semester. And the courses are spread out over 15 weeks, which is one thing that's a little bit different from a lot of other public health master's programs that have those 8-week kind of condensed sessions. So that 15-week format makes it very feasible to complete coursework during that time. The courses do have work, of course, that's going to be part and parcel with learning, but they're not busy work heavy, so the material that you will have as part of your coursework will directly reflect to what you're learning and be delivered in a manageable package. Should I apply to the program if I have a bachelor's degree in nursing? How would the degrees fit together? What type of jobs would be available to me after I graduate? Kelly Beckwith, I just saw you. Can you please answer
I
that
want
one?
to answer this one. Christy, this is such a good question. It was National Public Health Week was about a month ago, and we had a session specifically on the differences and similarities between nursing and public health. It was so good. I'm going to put my email in chat and I'll send you the link to the recording. It was so interesting to hear what people had to say. So, nursing and public health are interrelated, but not the same, of course. And we had 3 people who on the panel who all got their nursing degrees first and then ended up getting an MPH. One was in a PhD program. The other was working as a community, a public health nurse for Arlington County in Virginia. And the third decided she didn't want to be a nurse anymore and was working in health promotion. So, they all said how helpful it is understanding the concepts of public health and understanding specific diseases and disease etiology through their nursing practice. So, I noticed when I graduated with my MPH in health education, how a lot of health education jobs required an RN because they happen in hospitals. So I always encourage people to look at job descriptions of jobs they really want to get, because that will help you see which degree and what type of knowledge you need to be able to do the job you aspire to have.
Thank you, Kelly. That's a fantastic answer. And if you do join our program, I will tell you, Kelly is the most fabulous person on the face of this planet. She is fantastic. So if you have very specific Mason MPH questions, definitely reach out to her. Anna asked, is the curriculum fixed? I saw online that there are many types of specializations. There's a possibility to transfer credits. I have an MHA from GM. So the curriculum at this point is fixed within the with the context of you can choose between rural health or environmental health for the electives. Right now, this is the program of study for the public health practice concentration, which is the only concentration being currently offered asynchronously online. Yes, you may transfer credits, and to do that, it's up to 12 credits can be transferred, and it's the master's program director's purview as to what we'll be able to transfer or not. So what we will do is if you have interest in transferring credits, you will submit your transcript and say, hey, and this is something you can talk with us if you would like before you apply to the program and say, hey, these are the courses that I've taken. You know, do you think that these would fit with X, Y, and Z course in the program? So that's something I know Kelly has done often with students. So please definitely reach out with that too. You have a Bachelor of Science in Biology. Can you do an MPH? Well, strangely enough, my undergrad degree was in biology. So I would say, yes, you probably could do your MPH degree with a background in biology. Kelly.
Biology is a very common undergraduate degree to go into public health.
We're wonderful undergraduate people. Undergraduate was a little low, but I have 3+ years working full-time in public health. How much weight does admissions put on professional experience? Excellent question. So if your bachelor's degree GPA was a little bit on the low side, but you have professional experience since then, and you can eloquently articulate why you feel that you would be successful at completing a master's degree, that does carry weight. Also, if you've taken any coursework since then and have better grades with that, that also carries weight. So each student who applies who has a lower than 3.0 GPA are considered on a case-by-case basis, and we do factor in all of those issues. Christy asked, do you take the classes one at a time, or do you have to take more than one at a time? You may take one at a time. However, if you would like to have financial assistance, you will need to take 2 at a time. But you absolutely can take one course at a time. I know that there are some students who prefer to complete their coursework. You have up to 7 years to complete your entire MPH. So if you would like to take one course at a time for the duration of most of your MPH, you absolutely can do that. If you decide that you would like to do more than one, you can also do that as well. Do you see a lot of older students or recent grads? Kelly can probably speak to this a little bit better than I can, but I would say in my experience at Mason, I've seen a mix of both. Kelly?
Yeah, it is a wide range. Our program is very diverse age-wise for sure. I would say normally of all the students in the MPH program who come in each fall, which is usually about 70 students, it's between the ages of like 22 and 60. It really is a very wide range of students who are in our programs.
I've just put my email address in the chat box. I know Kelly has put hers in too. Can you touch, thank you, Kelly. Again, Kelly is the best. Question was, can you touch more on what the public health practice concentration would entail? So the courses that are in the public health concentration are the ones that we covered earlier. And again, if you have any questions about that, you can look at the handout provided when you submitted your interest. We also do have that information online on our website as well. But basically, public health practice is a practical application of public health knowledge in a field. And what I really love about this concentration is it's diverse. Where some public health concentrations are very specific in the type of work that can be completed, the public health practice can be applied in a variety of different work settings. So like Kelly mentioned before, there are some nursing students who have decided to follow into public health learning, and then they're able to take that knowledge back and then maybe teach some health education courses at a hospital setting. That would be applicable in public health practice. I've also known other students who have been able to work in health education fields or for local health departments. So it's really an excellent concentration that provides a wide background of knowledge and skill sets to be able to take public health knowledge and then use it practically in the workforce. Is in-state tuition more affordable? Kelly, would you like to touch on that one?
So I believe the tuition for the online MPH is a little higher than in-state tuition, but much lower than out-of-state tuition. So the pricing of the online MPH in public health practice is just a little bit different than the pricing of all the other MPH concentrations.
Right, thank you. I do know that I believe the online MPH tuition is $7.25 per credit hour. And again, if you complete more than two or more courses per semester, you are eligible for financial aid. How long do you have to complete the practicum? The practicum is completed in 1 semester, so it is 200 hours that are required, but it is required within that 1 semester setting. So it is a hands-on, wonderful learning opportunity. And again, because you have 7 years ultimately to complete your MPH program, some students want to just kind of get it all done within 2 to 2.5 years, and they're able to just go through all of their coursework and then they complete their practicum as part of that end bit. Other students who like to take that one course at a time end up taking a little bit longer to find their practicum setting and then complete it again in that 1 semester length. Can you complete the practicum at work if you work in the field? Kelly.
Yes, you can. It cannot be part of your regular job duties and it can't be with your current supervisor, but students complete their practicums at their workplaces every semester.
Thank you. I think we caught up to the questions. Are there any others that I did not answer or we did not answer, or are there any additional questions? Well, thank you guys very much. If you didn't want to be that person asking during the session and you'd like to reach out afterwards, you have our contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We're really honestly very happy to answer any questions that you might have.
There is one more question. How much time per week do you have to devote to classwork?
Excellent question. That depends on how you study and who you are. I have known, each syllabus that we create has a plan on devoting 5 to 7 hours per week to your coursework. It really depends on how you like to study, and it also depends on the course, honestly. I would say for the courses that I teach, probably between 5 and 7 hours for my course would be on average. But again, some students take a lot less and still have really good grades. Some students take a lot more and still really have good grades. So it really is up to you. Again, the asynchronous portion means that there might be a little bit more work on your end to complete readings and to complete assignments because you're not sitting in class for lecture, but we will still have lecture videos and things like that for you to be able to learn from. So it's not just going to be you reading out of a textbook. It's still going to be very interactive learning opportunity that will be part of that time you spend each week. Is a mentorship available to online students as well? With this being new, would we be connected with campus students? Kelly, sorry to throw it back to you again, but could I throw it back to you again, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I put an article about the first year of the mentorship program in the chat. We have made the mentorship program completely virtual for everyone. So yes, absolutely. We are so proud of this program. It's a small program. It's for students generally who are newer to the workforce, and they get to work one-on-one with a Mason alum who's been there, done that been part of this already and can provide really great advice and support and ideas for what it's like to work in public health. Our online students are not any different than our in-seat students, except they don't come to class or come to campus. They come to class. They don't come to campus. And, you know, I mean, we've sort of had fully online students for 2 years. And, you know, we consider all of our students our students. And so we have a graduate student group called Graduate Students for Public Health, and they do both online and in-person events. And, you know, some of our students who are just down the road only come to the online events. So yeah, you would be fully a Mason student.
Thank you, Kelly. All right. Did you do full-time or part-time while working a 40-hour work week? Can you please touch on your experience with working and going to school? So I did work a 40-hour work week and was taking care of family stuff, like with kiddos and things like that. So if any of you are parents, you know that sometimes kiddo stuff can be a full-time job in and of itself. But yes, I did work full-time and I completed my public health degree full-time. I'm not going to lie, there were times where it was challenging to figure out how to prioritize everything. Still do an excellent job, but not lose sight of any of the tasks that I needed to do during that time, but it was doable. I just had to learn to prioritize my time during that time. And my kids knew and were supportive. My husband knew and was supportive. And friends knew that I might not be able to go to as many events as I would have liked during that time. But the flexibility of the online degree made it so I could get up early in the morning before work, look at the coursework. I could bring stuff with me to work or access my assignments during lunch break or during breaks at work. Just kind of think through my assignments and think through my work during the day. After I got home from work, taking care of dinner, whatever, kids go to bed, and instead of watching TV, I did my coursework. So my TV watching and my recreational time definitely was lower during those years, but you spend time doing something every day. So instead of spending time sitting in front of the television or going through YouTube videos, I did coursework. So completely 100% totally doable. It just takes some intentionality of how am I going to do this? I want to do this and I will get it done well. So I hope that answers that question. And if you ever want to chat more about that, anyone, like, okay, how did it work for you? Can you give me some specifics of recommendations or things that you wish you knew? Reach out. I'd be happy to chat about that. Will there be office hours? How can online students connect with faculty? Excellent question. So each course is going to have faculty information embedded in the course. So there are going to be office hours, and it will depend on the faculty member how they have that set up. So for example, because I am an online asynchronous instructor, my office hours are per student request, and then we'll work together to make that time happen. So I understand that my students have working schedules and school schedules, so sometimes we'll meet in the evening. Sometimes I will meet with them on the weekend, and that's atypical for most faculty members, but I try to work with my students. So I do know that all the faculty who will be teaching this program will have office hours and be available to students, but exactly how they frame that out will depend on that faculty member's preference. But their contact information, their policies for how frequently or how quickly they'll respond to emails, when they will respond to emails, when their office hours are, will be very clearly visible on their faculty information page on their course. What kinds of coursework is there besides writing papers? What else is there? I'm so glad that you asked. I personally love papers, but that's probably why I do what I do now. But there are other assignments depending on the type of course that you're going to be taking. So for example, in the Epi and Biostats course, there will be a lot of working through how exactly do you tackle a problem? Okay, what do you need to know in this problem? How do you go about choosing the type of study for this problem? How do you choose a correct statistical approach to address this problem? So working through things like that. I was talking with another instructor who's currently developing a course for the fall launch, and she's working on an online mapping assignment to help teach some global health concepts. There are also going to be an online wiki assignment that she's working on as well. So these aren't just going to be paper-based. They're going to be a combination of, for some courses, discussion boards, for some courses, projects. One of the courses that I will be developing for the online space, we actually do little mini grant writing assignments, and then we do some qualitative research. So it really will depend on the instructor's preference, but it's not just going to be paper writing. Oh, you're welcome. And again, if anyone has any other questions about, like, how did it work for you? What do you think worked well? What do you wish you knew? Please reach out, because obviously sometimes it just helps to hear from somebody else who's been there, so that you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. Are you able to show us a syllabus for a class just to get an idea of how much work it is? Excellent question. So the syllabi for the classes as of their final format are currently in development, but if you would like to have a meeting with me at some point, just reach out, and then I could do a quick Zoom meeting and then show you a screenshot of the syllabus and then talk you through. So I'd be happy to do that. For the courses that I teach, typically there might be one assignment per week, but the assignment would either be something like a discussion board where you have to post an original response or original post and then one response, or it might be a 2-page essay. All right, what that assignment will be will depend on the faculty member, but again, it's definitely not excessive. One thing I love about this department, in addition to just how amazing the faculty are with their wealth of knowledge, is that they don't have students do work just for the sake of doing work. So they tend to be assignment, most of them tend to be assignment light, not all of them, but most of them tend to be assignment light. But the assignments that you do in a lot of these courses will build off of each other. So once you've gotten your references down for some of the assignments, then you'll be able to build on that for future assignments. Excellent questions.
Yeah,
Sorry.
can I say one more thing, going back to the whole full-time work, full-time school? I never recommend full-time work, full-time school. People do it anyway. Who listens to me? But in general, I think, managing, keeping all those balls in the air of school, work, life, family, eating healthy meals, perhaps, sleeping, all of those different things. Like, I generally, if you work full-time, I recommend to all students to go to school part-time, just because we want you to be able to learn this material so that you can go out and be a good public health practitioner. And so if I say this to students all the time, like, if you're doing this, trying to get that A, and then all of that information is just leaving your brain because you don't have any space to actually process it, what's the point? So really, really consider, I do understand the desire to get that degree done. I do. But if the difference is 2 years or 3 years, and you are truly learning the material in 3, it might be a better go. The other thing that I hear from students all the time is the absolute critical importance of figuring out what type of time management works while you're in school. I am always amazed at how well organized our students are in terms of, like, some of them have paper planners, some of them use their Google Calendar, some of them have funny ways of managing their time and knowing what is due for the entire semester. But they do it so well of, like, okay, so I'm taking 2 classes. I have the syllabus at the beginning of the semester. I put everything that's in the syllabus on my calendar, so I am certain I'm not going to miss anything. And so figuring out as quickly as possible what type of time management is going to work for you by adding this big important thing into your life is really, really useful. So, one of the things we do at the beginning of the semester is try to have, like, online advice sessions between first-year students and second-year students. And so listening to them talk about what type of time management works for them will be pretty important for you all.
Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's the voice of reason. No, it's true. So again, Kelly's amazing. If you are part of this program, Kelly is so well loved that she gets gifts of cupcakes on a regular basis because she is that awesome. The other thing that might help with that time management is every syllabus contains more than just here's a textbook that you need, here are the instructor's expectations. They actually outline the entire course. So week 1, what's due, or module 1, what's due, module 2, what's due. So even if you don't go through the online course on that first day and look through and see exactly what the layout's going to be, you're going to see in that syllabus what is due and when it's due. And that might help you also plan out so that if you know, okay, well, I have an event coming up in a couple of weeks, I really don't feel like spending my entire weekend doing nothing but coursework, maybe you can start working on that assignment a little bit earlier. So that's one thing that I've also found about our courses that are helpful that I wish I had had when I was taking my MPH. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Gina.
Thank you for coming and sharing with everyone, and especially me. Definitely was learning a lot here also. So thank you guys for coming. Definitely appreciate it. If you guys have any question, I also put my email in the chat, so feel free to reach out to me also. But we appreciate you coming, and hope we answered most of your questions.
Thank you, everyone. I hope to hear from you soon.
All right. Have a good night.